right, Raiders fans, let's get into it because there's a lot to unpack from that game. First off, the way the team played was frustrating. Undisciplined doesn't even begin to cover it. Setting the edge on defense was a real problem early on, and those penalties kept piling up like it was a highlight reel for mistakes. The game ending in a tie? Yeah, that was largely thanks to Cam Miller stepping up when it mattered most. You could tell the quarterback battle between Aiden O'Connell and Cam Miller wasn't just for show. It was real, and had a big impact on how things unfolded on the field. Sure, the numbers on paper for Aiden read 18 completions on 30 attempts for just over 200 yards with a touchdown and a couple of interceptions, but the performance was rough, to say the least. He had more chances than you'd expect, but it just didn't click. One thing that might not jump out in a box score is that interception early on, where Dante Thornton Jr. absolutely beat his man deep. If O'Connell had the arm strength of even an average NFL quarterback, that should have been a 60-yard-plus touchdown. Instead, he underthrew it by a good 10 yards, and it ended up in the defender's hands. It's moments like that which show the limitations he has, and why you start questioning if this is the quarterback that Chip Kelly wants leading the offense. O'Connell is far from mobile, and in Kelly's system, you need a quarterback who can at least pose a threat with their legs, even if they're not a dual-threat star. O'Connell struggles this season, starting from a shaky training camp to a poor mock game, and now this tough outing. Highlights some real concerns. On the flip side, Cam Miller brought a spark when he got his chance. The guy ran the ball with purpose, 6 carries, 76 yards, and even a touchdown. That touchdown pass to Cedric Jackson was a thing of beauty. The pump fake he used to draw the safety and was a veteran-level move, almost Tom Brady-esque in how well it baited the defense. It's not just the arm talent, but the poise and football IQ on display in that moment that gave the Raiders a real jolt of momentum. The team's fight in the fourth quarter, refusing to back down despite the scoreboard, was a bright spot and showed some grit that the fans can latch onto. Now, when you think about who really stood out for the Raiders on either side of the ball, a few names come to mind. Defensive tackle Thomas Booker, the new acquisition, really impressed with his interior pressure and hustle. He's not the biggest or fastest, but his quick first step and relentless motor reminded me of players like Adam Butler, guys who can get under the radar, but make a difference on the line. Jamal Adams was solid, too, and Cam Miller definitely earns his place in that conversation, especially given his impact on offense. Some other players who showed promise were Geno Smith, despite some drops, and the offense's ability to move the ball at times, like that early pass to Trey Tucker that got things going. The Raiders made a notable trade to bring Booker in, giving up Jacorian Bennett, and based on what I saw, Booker could be a key piece moving forward. It's the kind of impact signing that can give you better depth on the defensive line and help improve a unit that's been inconsistent. Running back Dylan Lobe also looked solid with 5 carries for 34 yards, including a smart run where he adjusted mid-play to find space. Cedric Jackson, as mentioned, was a reliable target with 4 catches for 76 yards. Alex Bachman made a case for himself with a strong performance, and it's clear that he's becoming someone the Raiders will lean on as they trim the roster toward the final 53. On the other hand, guys like Tommy MILROE are starting to raise questions about their chances, especially with the competition heating up. Philip Dorsett had a steady game with 3 catches for 36 yards, building on some earlier success in the mock game, where he scored twice. But it's still an uphill battle for a spot on the team for him. Drew Lock had a tough moment with an interception thrown to Isaiah Palmelo, who showed flashes but also struggled with missed tackles. Speaking of missed tackles, that was a recurring issue all night, and something the Raiders absolutely need to clean up before the season really kicks off. The team's resilience was evident. They came back from being down 16-3 at halftime and fought through a 13-point deficit later on. But despite that effort, it's hard to ignore how poorly the Raiders played overall. Pete Carroll's team certainly didn't bring their starters, yet the Raiders couldn't capitalize, and that's a major red flag. Discipline, fundamentals, and execution just weren't there, and that's a problem the coaching staff will be drilling on. Looking closer at the offensive line, the performance was rough across the board. Munford, Caleb Rogers, Charles Grant, and Jordan Meredith all had struggles that made it hard for the offense to get any rhythm going. JPJ's play was especially concerning given how long he was on the field without delivering the impact the team needs. Meanwhile, Alex Kappa's absence due to injury didn't help, and it raises questions about the depth and health of that unit heading into the regular season. The quarterback situation continues to be a hot topic. O'Connell's lack of mobility and limited arm strength don't fit well with what Chip Kelly's offense demands. It's his third different system in as many years, and that constant change makes it tough to develop any real consistency or confidence. Meanwhile, Cam Miller's performance offers some hope. He has the tools, the mobility, and the mentality that might give him an edge as a developmental quarterback. The key will be managing that progression without rushing him into game situations he's not ready for. The fan reaction in the chat reflected a lot of these concerns. There are calls to cut players who underperformed, like Trey Taylor and JT Woods, both of whom had rough games filled with missed tackles and blown assignments. The lack of edge setting on defense was a clear theme that needs to be addressed quickly. Optimism is tough to maintain after a performance like this, but preseason struggles don't always translate to regular season failure. Still, the Raiders have plenty of work to do. Many pointed out that the defense was more worrying than the offense, which showed glimpses of life but also stalled at critical moments. The offensive line's inability to protect and open lanes was a major factor, making it tough for any running back or quarterback to get going. And with some backup players seeing significant time, it's a reminder that depth on both sides of the ball has to improve drastically. As for roster decisions, the game gave the coaching staff a lot to think about. Players like Munford appear to be on thin ice, and the team needs to find answers at center and guard positions where performance was shaky. The possibility of moving JPJ to center was discussed, but it doesn't seem like that's the plan yet. The health of key offensive linemen, like Kappa, will be crucial going forward. On the other hand, Cam Miller's performance injected some excitement into the Raider fan base. His ability to scramble and extend plays while making smart decisions under pressure showed he might be more than just a backup. His touchdown pass to Cedric Jackson was a testament to his growing confidence and understanding of the offense. The subtle pump fake that drew the safety in was a sophisticated move, showcasing a high football IQ that isn't always evident in young quarterbacks. His 6 carries for 76 yards also demonstrated his ability to contribute significantly on the ground, which is crucial in an offense that often incorporates quarterback runs as a key element. If Miller continues to develop these aspects of his game, he could become a valuable asset in the Raiders' offense, potentially giving them a dynamic weapon that opponents must account for on every snap. Looking beyond the quarterback duel, the Raiders' defensive line showed signs of improvement, thanks in part to new addition Thomas Booker. Booker's relentless pursuit and quick first step disrupted opposing offenses, providing a much-needed boost in a unit that has struggled with consistency in recent years. While Booker isn't the flashiest player, his impact lies in his work ethic and ability to consistently apply pressure in the trenches. This kind of player is essential for a defense that relies on controlling the line of scrimmage to keep offenses in check. Jamal Adams also contributed with solid tackling and coverage, reinforcing his role as a defensive leader. The defense, however, was still plagued by missed tackles and poor edge setting, which prevented the Raiders from shutting down key plays. These issues are areas that the coaching staff must address aggressively during the remaining preseason and training camp to avoid a repeat of last year's defensive woes. The offensive line remains a critical concern for the Raiders. Despite the talent and experience of players like Munford, Caleb Rogers, Charles Grant, and Jordan Meredith, the unit failed to provide consistent protection or create meaningful running lanes. The offensive line struggles were compounded by the injury to Alex Kappa, whose absence left a noticeable gap in the interior line. This lack of depth and cohesion on the line contributed to the offense's inability to sustain drives and capitalize on scoring opportunities. The line's performance also placed additional pressure on the quarterbacks, forcing them into hurried decisions and increasing the likelihood of turnovers. Improving the offensive line's chemistry and technique must be a priority for the Raiders if they hope to maintain a competitive offense throughout the season. Beyond the line, the skill positions showed mixed results. Running back Dylan Lobe showed promise with his vision and ability to find gaps, but the overall rushing attack lacked consistency. Receivers like Cedric Jackson and Philip Dorsett displayed flashes of potential, but drops and miscommunications limited their impact. These inconsistencies highlight the need for better timing and synchronization between the quarterbacks and receivers, something that takes time to develop, especially with a new coaching staff and offensive scheme. Tight ends and fullbacks also need to contribute more effectively in both blocking and receiving roles to support the offense's diverse play calling. Special teams had its moments, particularly with Cam Miller's versatility, but also suffered from penalties and breakdowns that disrupted momentum. Discipline on special teams is often an overlooked factor in preseason games, but can be the difference between winning and losing close contests. The Raiders must focus on tightening these units to avoid costly mistakes in the regular season. The roster decisions emerging from this game are critical. Players who underperformed, such as Trey Taylor and JT Woods, are facing uphill battles to secure spots on the final roster. Their missed tackles and coverage lapses are red flags that can't be ignored. Meanwhile, players like Booker and Miller have strengthened their cases for inclusion by showing not just talent, but the drive and football intelligence needed at the professional level. The coaching staff's challenge will be balancing potential with performance, ensuring that the final roster is equipped to handle the rigors of the NFL season. In terms of coaching, Chip Kelly and his staff are under pressure to address these deficiencies quickly. The offensive scheme demands precision and adaptability, and so far, the Raiders have struggled to execute consistently. Defensively, improving tackling fundamentals and edge containment are immediate priorities. The staff's ability to instill discipline, improve communication, and foster a competitive environment will be crucial as the preseason progresses. Looking ahead, the Raiders have the opportunity to use the remaining preseason games to iron out these kinks. The coaching staff will need to focus on building chemistry, particularly on the offensive line and among skill players. The quarterback competition will continue to be a focal point, with Miller and O'Connell each needing to demonstrate growth and consistency. Special teams, discipline, and execution will also be key areas for improvement. While the preseason performance has raised concerns, it's important to remember that these games are designed to test players, evaluate depth, and prepare the team for the regular season. The Raiders have the foundational pieces in place, but they must capitalize on their potential through focused coaching, disciplined play, and smart roster decisions. The upcoming weeks will be telling in how the team responds to these challenges. Ultimately, the Raiders' preseason journey is a microcosm of their broader season aspirations. The flashes of talent and resilience offer hope, but the fundamental issues exposed demand immediate attention. Fans should remain cautiously optimistic, recognizing that while there are no guarantees in football, the path to success is built on addressing weaknesses, maximizing strengths, and fostering a team culture that prioritizes accountability and effort. The Raiders' ability to navigate these preseason trials will set the tone for their regular season campaign and, hopefully, for the resurgence of a franchise hungry for sustained success. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on our Las Vegas Raiders. And don't be shy. Drop your thoughts on the news in the comments below. Whispers are beginning to circulate around the NFL that quarterback JALEN MILROE has reportedly signed a 3-year contract with the Las Vegas Raiders. While nothing has been officially confirmed by the team or MILROE's camp, sources close to the situation suggest the dynamic former Alabama quarterback could be headed west in what many are calling a surprising but calculated move. If true, this decision could signal a bold new direction for the Raiders' offense, especially considering their recent history of quarterback uncertainty. Some insiders claim MILROE has already begun preparations with key members of the coaching staff, although these reports remain unverified. There has been no official word from the Raiders' front office, but the rumor has taken over social media, fueling speculation about what this could mean for the team's depth chart heading into the upcoming season. The timing of this alleged deal raises questions, particularly as the Raiders have yet to name a clear-cut starter. Could MILROE be the answer? While fans remain skeptical, Many are hopeful that a fresh, mobile presence under center is exactly what the team needs. For now, the whispers grow louder, and the NFL world waits to see if there's fire behind the smoke. Observers close to the Raiders organization are cautiously optimistic, suggesting that if the MILROE deal is real, the team may have struck gold. Known for his athleticism, deep ball potential, and electrifying play style, JALEN MILROE has long been considered one of the most intriguing quarterback prospects since his standout performances at Alabama. Though still raw in certain areas of the game, MILROE brings a dual-threat presence that few defenders can easily contain. Rumors indicate that Las Vegas may have outmaneuvered several other teams to secure his services, with reports mentioning at least 2 AFC rivals also expressing interest. If these claims hold weight, then it would seem that the Raiders saw an opportunity to build around a young, high-upside quarterback and acted decisively. The alleged 3-year term also hints at a developmental window, enough time to mold MILROE into a franchise centerpiece without the immediate pressure of starting Week 1. It's this potential that has Raiders fans buzzing with anticipation and critics questioning whether MILROE can make the leap from college standout to NFL star. While we wait for confirmation, insiders continue to point to this rumored move as a possible game-changer for the team's long-term strategy. What makes this speculation even more compelling is the Raiders' recent quarterback carousel, which has left the team searching for consistency under center. With veteran options failing to provide long-term security and younger prospects yet to fully develop, the supposed addition of MILROE could mark a deliberate pivot toward youth and athleticism. League sources say that Raiders head coach Antonio Pierce has always favored mobile quarterbacks capable of improvising under pressure, qualities that define MILROE's game. If these rumors are to be believed, then this partnership could be the beginning of a new offensive philosophy in Las Vegas. Though MILROE remains unproven at the professional level, his explosive ability to extend plays and push the ball downfield makes him an enticing wild card. Fans, analysts, and former players alike are weighing in on social media, with some viewing this as a genius stroke of foresight while others label it as a reckless gamble. Until official word comes from the Raiders themselves, the situation remains clouded in uncertainty. But the possibility alone is enough to shift conversations around the AFC West, especially if the team intends to let MILROE compete for the starting role as soon as training camp opens. If indeed MILROE has joined the silver and black, the implications could ripple far beyond the Raiders' quarterback room. A young, dynamic quarterback like him would not only re-energize the fan base, but also change how opposing teams prepare for Las Vegas. Offensive coordinator Luke Getsy, who's been searching for a playmaker to fit his aggressive scheme, may see MILROE as the perfect puzzle piece. While the front office remains silent, many suspect that internal conversations have already begun regarding how to tailor the offensive playbook around MILROE's unique strengths. If this deal is confirmed in the coming days, expect training camp narratives to shift dramatically. Could he unseat the presumed starter by opening week? Or will he sit and develop for a year behind a veteran mentor? Those questions remain unanswered, but what is certain is that MILROE's name is now firmly embedded in the Raiders' rumor mill. Some even claim sightings of MILROE in Las Vegas, further adding fuel to the fire. Whether these are coincidences or clues, the speculation continues to grow louder with each passing hour as fans and analysts try to decipher what could be the biggest quarterback move of the offseason. Ultimately, whether the MILROE signing is fact or fiction, the mere possibility has sparked a level of excitement not seen in Raiders circles for some time. The combination of uncertainty and hope is a familiar cocktail for fans of a team that has flirted with greatness but struggled to maintain it. Adding a player like MILROE, even in rumor form, injects energy into a roster that many believed was in need of a dramatic shakeup. His potential fit in Las Vegas, especially alongside rising stars on both sides of the ball, offers a glimpse into what could become a new era of Raiders football. Of course, with no official confirmation, it remains just that, a glimpse. But in the world of sports, sometimes it's the whispers that reveal the future before the press conferences do. Until someone steps forward to validate or deny the reports, all eyes will remain on Las Vegas. Will MILROE become the new face of the franchise? Is this a strategic smokescreen or the dawn of something real? These are the questions that now dominate the headlines, filling the gap between fact and fantasy with endless speculation. For now, fans are left to dream and perhaps prepare for a Raider Nation led by the electric JALEN MILROE. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay updated with exclusive news about our Las Vegas Raiders, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that like button. We can't wait to hear your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next video.